Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Travel Mole COVID-19 broadcast. I'm delighted to have Craig and Andy here from Flexireps. Flexireps is a new company, just launched. You must be at least a month into business now, Craig, aren't you?
Yeah. So 6 weeks, week 6 now. So
week 6, Christ, doesn't time fly?
Yeah, when you're having fun.
Yes, indeed. Andy, perhaps you can explain a little bit about the concept of Flexireps and when did you start thinking about it without giving any commercial confidences? When was the idea conceived?
Well, I think, look, first of all, Craig and I go back a long, long way. His wife Gemma and I worked together for years. I've known Craig for a long, long time. And clearly Craig, unfortunately, due to COVID, his role at Jet2 was no longer required. Craig still got a fantastic relationship with the team there and completely understand the reasons and rationale. But we started chatting probably when he knew that he was on his way out and some ideas that we had. Because we're seeing these green circles appear on LinkedIn, the dreaded open to work, we thought we had a bit of a duty and a responsibility to see if we could do something about that to keep people in the travel industry, even if it meant short term, with some sort of short bursts of work and activity. So yeah, look, the idea was bouncing around when Craig found out that his role was no longer required. I've got some free time on my hands while I seek my next sort of full-time project. So yeah, we just got together, started chatting. The timing felt quite right, albeit people are struggling to spend cash right now, but we do know that travel businesses have got rid of their sales team on the road. Travel agents will still need them. Brands will still need to get messages out, and perhaps offering a flexible solution where you can tap into some great talent for short periods of time, or even longer periods of time, but maybe not full time over the course of a year. That it was a nice idea. So what's been great is Craig only lives up the road from me, but through the change in people's work behaviours in such a short space of time, we've managed to achieve so much. So rather than jumping on a train and a car and a plane to meet people, we've sat in our homes. Craig's in his dining room, I'm on my landing, and we've managed to connect with lots of brands, lots of talented people, and we're hopeful to be announcing the first few projects really soon. So yeah, great idea that at the right time, and really it's try and keep some people in travel, help brands raise awareness, and try and retain some talent in our industry, and at the same time try and help those that are really in the stuck by supporting Abta Lifeline with 10% of the profits that the business makes going to them.
So Craig, this is genuinely a business born out of COVID, really. It's a business of its time, so to speak.
Yeah, it really is, because I don't think you would be able to tap into the amount of people that have been made redundant that have that experience. So they've got a minimum of 2 years on the road, business development manager, account manager experience. That's our minimum criteria for brands to be able to tap into. And then the clever part about Flexireps is for the brands, they get to see those people behind the scenes that are available for whatever project it is. So whether it's a couple of days or it's a couple of days a month for a longer period, on a residual or something like that, because what we initially thought and what's actually happened is morphed, because we thought we maybe get a dozen people, which were friends of ours, colleagues that we'd met at different travel events and stuff. We got initially 140 people sign up in the first couple of weeks. About 80 of those meet our criteria. Some are very high level and some just have that minimum 2 years. But a lot of the people are, they're like us, they're 20-year veterans of travel industry and being out on the road, being the face and of those brands, some huge brands, and lots of different sector experience. We've got cruise people, we've got car hire people, we've got the tour operators. So yeah, there's a real range and a real diverse people around the country, So we've got most regions covered as well.
So Craig, how does the business model work? Say I've been running a Caribbean tour operator specialist for 20 years. COVID's really hit me bad. I've had to get rid of my sales force that are on the road. I've had three guys and girls on the road. They're going out and seeing travel agents and travel agents. How do when I approach you, what's the deal? How do I go about it? What's the actual logistics of it?
Yeah, so real easy. We don't dictate anything. We're working a recruitment model, so we would take whatever the job was. So if let's as an example say I want to visit 500 agents in the south, and they're maybe specific to a consortia or maybe not. We work through that logistics. So we've got the travel agent database. We work together with the brand to say, right, these are the agents. This is how long this job is going to take. It's 10 days, it's 20 days, it's whatever for 3 people. And then they choose the day rate that they want to pay the agents. So, you know, we don't dictate that. We give them a recommendation. We think these people are valued between XYZ amount of money a day and this.
Sorry to interrupt. So the negotiation goes on between the tour operator and the individual that you recommend. Is that how it works?
No, we agree that beforehand between us, the management team at Flexireps and that brand. And then we put that job out to the database that's available. So we'll say, this is the job, it's Caribbean tourists, it's this Caribbean hotel, it's paying £150 a day. This is the date period that you're required to work. And this is the job that they want. So they want to profile the travel agents, they want to get signed up to their social media, they want whatever the information is, whatever the brand is looking for us to do, that's what our guys will bring back to them. And they'll say, yes, I'm up for it. So they basically press a button, the whole database gets it, I'm up for it. And that creates a short list of people that we then present back to that brand. And it's, let's say there's 20 people, they've got their bio, they've got their picture, they've got their CV, they've got their sector experience, and they've got a 90-second video that the brand can then choose. And that's something that's come out of this that's really important. They want to know who the people are representing them. They want to choose who the people are representing them. So part.
So in effect, Andy, Flexireps is almost like a recruitment or like a temp agency, a recruitment temp agency.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. You know, it's exactly that. But where it's sort of neat in a way is because there's lots of people that could pick up these sort of jobs themselves directly with brands. We're just making it really easy because we're saying to all of the people that want to get messages to the trade, come to us. And anyone that's looking for that sort of work, we're almost a matchmaking template. But the company's set up as a recruitment temping agency, and that's exactly what we do. It will spin off in different ways because it's already started to spin off where there are businesses that perhaps have never worked with the trade, and because there's going to be what we feel is that the travel agent are going to play a more pivotal part as we go forward. As you know, I've always been a fan of travel agents distribution. That's all I've ever worked in. So I've always been an ambassador, super fan of travel agents. But I think now in this sort of, in inverted commas, new world, travel agents are going to be really important because of the knowledge of the things that are changing, the shift in destinations that are available to go to, the COVID protocols and all that sort of stuff. So I think consumers are going to find their way to travel agents, and businesses are recognizing that because they're saying, well, listen, we need to be in this space. So there's consumer brands that are coming to us saying, well, look, we're not on sale with a brand. Craig, can you consult with us for a bit to get us into the trade, and then we can use the rep service after that. So there's 3 or 4 of those conversations where we'll almost become a sort of GSA for businesses, but just on the sales side. We're not going to get into the kind of PR, marketing and strategic things, but if they're not selling to the trade now, Craig can help make that happen, and then we can use the reps after that. So yeah, but we're exactly that. Yeah, temping agency, really straightforward for the brands. But they do, as Craig said, they love the videos because every brand's got its own personality. Every business has got its own personality. Somebody might want sort of fun and lively and energetic approach. Some might want a little bit more subdued. But there's a whole, you know, we spoke to 50 different businesses now about this. We're confident in the model and that people are excited to tap into it. But they all want something slightly different. Some say, well, we just want to encourage people to use our app. You know, there's hotels that want to make sure that customers use their app. There might be people saying we want people to be aware of our new destinations. So I think that's something else that's shifting is, you know, we can't get into Australia at the moment. People are a bit nervous about going to Asia. There's all sorts of different changes and switches in destinations. I think a lot of people are expanding their product offering. You know, look how many luxury operators have gone into the UK domestic space. So there's a real gap between what operators are doing and what agents' knowledge is. So we're going to try and help bridge that gap. Three key thoughts around it is help the brands in raise awareness of whatever they're doing, retain talent, and continue to put something back in terms of live fly. There are three: wash your hands, distance, and cover your face kind of things at the moment. It's, you know, retain some talent, raise brand awareness, and give back to charity.
So it's matching basically profiles between the supplier and the people. So you're in effect the Tinder or the Grinder of the travel industry.
Yeah. But what's come from it
is... You're a bit quick there, Craig, to be referenced to Tinder and Grinder. In a sense, we are. Yeah, I think the brand is slightly
matchmaking.com.
More of a matchmaking.
How about training? I mean, a lot of obviously there are some products, and you know, that would require intimate knowledge of that product in order to, you know, update a travel agent, etc. How does that focus, and how does that put into the equation?
Again, once the brand has got their objectives, to help them reach their objectives, training will play an important part. So some destinations are keen on flying the people out to destination and running a training course in the destination. If it's hotel chains, they may want the teams to go and visit the hotels first before going out and do a full induction. And for others, if it's a fairly straightforward campaign, the key thing, and this is why we want the 2 years experience, is they would need to be able to strike up a conversation. They need to be able to engage. And if they've had that experience, they'll know the retailers. So there's already a warm opening for the people visiting. But we can set up a 60 to 90 minute Zoom call where they're trained, because these are an extension of their team for whatever period that campaign is. So another key thing about having such a wide spectrum of available talent is, if you're a cruise guy and you want to talk about cruise, well, we can select people with cruise experience. So they already know the jargon, they already know the language, they already know all of the sort of USPs. So then actually a short Zoom training is all it takes. And we're going to ask each brand and each business that uses us to be really clear in their objectives, really clear in what they want to achieve. And each time someone goes out, they'll also have a document outlined in the kind of FAQs of what ifs. What if they walk into a travel agent and there's an ongoing complaint that needs some kind of resolution? What if they walk in and there's questions over their reward scheme? They might have a reward card that needs updated. So that we'll make sure that they're an absolute extension of that sales team. They're trained well, they can meet the objectives, and everyone finishes the campaign feeling happy and pleased with the outcome.
What I was going to say,
go ahead.
Was that where our initial idea came from, and our target list of companies, you know, that might need this help, we haven't even got to them yet. I know we're 6 weeks in, because we've had inbound from brands weren't on our radar, from, you know, essentially the A to Z of travel in the first few days, from Albania to Zambia, destinations, DMCs, people that are now saying, actually, travel agents are really important to our brand in the UK, because they've done really well out of this COVID situation from a PR perspective, that agents have been available. Yeah, they might not have been making much money and just dealing with refunds and everything else, but the online type scenario haven't been available. So customers are going to be using travel agents more. That's their opinion. It's our opinion too, that they're going to be more important than ever, and that a lot of brands don't want all their eggs in one basket as well. So actually, we went down this road. We now need to have our distribution channels wider, and if we're not in the B2B market with travel agents, we're now going to come to that. So a lot of brands, so where we thought maybe initially this might be a temporary, you know, couple of years business, it's actually looking like there's a lot of brands coming that would never be able to have representation in the UK market. They're so small, but by using this method and putting a few days here and a few different people out and about in different regions at different times, they'll be able to afford that. So that's the good news from it as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the longevity of the business plan, because assuming that this silver bullet vaccine comes along, which everybody hopes does, and that, you know, by this time next year we're back, maybe not at 2019 levels, but maybe reasonable levels that will keep travel agents and tour operators and destinations in business. You feel this model has got some legs in it to go beyond that?
Well, we actually said it would be wonderful if this only existed for 2 years to short term, again, help those brands raise awareness, retain some talent and give some back to charity. But what we've seen just in 6 weeks, and we've not announced our first sort of couple of projects yet, but what we've seen is that sort of twist and turn. So I think the business could potentially evolve into other things. So in terms of the need for reps temporarily, hopefully that won't exist. But again, everyone that we talk to gives us a new idea. Everyone that we talk to gives us a fresh angle or another way of thinking about things. We just don't know, because we don't know if next year the travel industry will be at 70% of 19 capacity, or I think John Bevan was quoted this week as saying they're anticipating 50% of 19 capacity. I'm also reading reports that recovery won't come back to full till 2023, but they're all guesses. They're all finger in the air. None of us really know. None of us really know how quick things are going to recover. None of us really know if there's going to be another lockdown. We just don't know. So we're just trying to do our best to keep Craig really busy, try and get people out before Christmas, working on some campaigns, because, you know, again, for people's mental health, most salespeople in the industry, you know, Graham, you've been to probably 1,000 travel do's in the year. These are lively, upbeat salespeople that, for many, have been sat at home since March on furlough, that have gone off and done other things, but still looking for projects and to stay in the industry. You know, I'm actually not looking forward to my first big travel event, because I'm not even sure I'm going to know anyone. You know, there's going to be such big dramatic changes that the whole industry is changing. So look, hopefully people come to us, they get a couple of months projects, they do a great job for a business, and then they find a job and they're not on our books. That's the ultimate goal, if you like.
And within your terms of business, if, say, for example, I was to work for you and then someone offered me a full-time job, do you get a percentage of whatever I might be paid, like a normal employment agency would do?
Yeah. So there's we're not running down the permanent sort of recruitment plan. That's not our current plan. However, in the contracts, if they, you know, because some businesses, they've actually been really open and said, we like the idea of this, because actually sometimes you take people on and after a few months you realise that they don't really fit your business, or they're slightly not as good as they were in the interview. So this kind of try before you buy. So yeah, within the contracts, as the supplier contracts and us, if they take them on within 12 months of the project, then yeah, there'll be a recruitment finder's fee. But you know, we are essentially a recruitment agency. So, but yeah, I think, you know, people understand that. And actually, there was a couple of, I wasn't on the meetings, I don't do all of the meetings, but Craig has had a couple of people that said it's a nice, neat idea to try out these guys for a few months, and if they're great, we'll take them on.
Give them different projects, try before you buy, make sure that personality fits with the brand, and yeah, they do, because, you know, we're not going to be pushing that. We're not going to push that kind of try before you buy. I don't know, someone came out with that phrase. I don't feel comfortable with it. We want to achieve some really quick objectives for businesses. If that then turns into them taking them on, then fantastic. You know, yeah. For us, that's brilliant, because they're back in the game and they're back working full time and they're off our books. But I think there'll always be, you know, things are quite, you know, people move around a bit in the travel industry. You know, people move from business to business. So I think there'll always be a talent pool for us to tap into for the projects that we've got. So I don't think that's ever going to be an issue for us.
So, okay, so we've got this talent pool. We've got initially, if you like, a try before you hire, you know, and some set projects of a certain time and certain goals. You said you had ideas on how to expand the business. how do you currently see that? Is it you just absorbing ideas, saying, "Oh, that's a good idea. We might stick that in," or do you have a set field that now you've got? I feel that it might go beyond the 2 years. Yeah, we could add in, I don't know, PR. We could add in photography. We could add in content creation. There's all sorts of things that one could possibly do from a base that you have if you've got the contacts with tour operators, cruise lines, and possibly destinations. I mean, there's a lot of competition in that area from PR agencies, from brand agencies, etc., etc. So you'd have to have your wits about you to compete with those, or your acquisition hat on.
Yeah, well, or Graham, if you find a nice natural home to sit alongside those guys. So look, I don't want to say who, but we've spoke to 4 or 5 of the huge PR and marketing companies in the UK market. Monsters that have got 40, 50 customers. And they actually, because we're not saying we're going to go and do all that stuff, and that's not the current plan, by the way, is we can be a lovely natural extension to what they offer. So let's just say I'm big PR company A, I work with destination B, we do all this stuff, the PR, the marketing, the positioning, etc. And by the way, as an addition to that service, we can offer what these guys do, and they can cover your trade shows, they can go out and visit the travel agents. We can actually fit as a natural extension to that. So rather than compete in that space, and there's some fantastic businesses out there. I've worked with them all for years on different things and under different roles. I think we leave those guys to that and do this. But listen, in 2 years' time or in a year's time, could that plan change? Possibly. But we've not got a bit of paper that we've scoped out, right, do this for 6 months, then that. We're just going to run with it and see how it works out. There's obviously a lot of cost associated. You need PR people, you need digital people, you need marketing. You need to start building a team and building a business to be able to support doing all of those different things.
That could come from your talent pool, couldn't it? There's lots of PR people be made redundant, lots of digital people be made redundant.
Yeah, possibly. But look, it's not today's plan, because we've actually spoke to lots of those, and we're saying that you guys do that, we'll do this bit. But we may, and we're talking to some people where they're just not in this market. A DMC might not be in this market. Can we hook them up with some tour operators and retailers on a sales side? So we might do some of the selling stroke repping bit. But in terms of full-on PR, marketing, digital, I'm not sure that's not a space we're aiming to get into in the short term. Cool.
Craig, you've obviously built up a very, very good and respectable reputation when you were at P2. When people saw that you were going to be leaving, there were lots of, "Oh no, don't go" type of things. Andy, yourself, you've built up a smidgen of a profile in your last couple of jobs. Have you found that to be, if you like, the USP in launching this business, or is it the concept itself, or a combination of the two?
I think it's a combo, yeah. I think it's a combo. Because, I think what we're both known for is running trade award-winning sales teams for all of our things that have got unique ideas and a different approach to bringing brands to life and delivering to the travel agent. So we've still got that. We can still help these brands bring their USPs and KSPs to the travel agents via our people. And we're always being travel agent champions. So that's what we're good at, is the boots on the ground element. And that's what we'll continue to be good at via maybe not our own sales team, but via Flexireps and training those people to be the next best trade award winning sales team for people.
Good. Well done. Well, gentlemen, I wish you the very best of luck. When you set up Flexi BS Reps, give me a call. I'm top of that league. And yeah, very, very best of luck. It sounds an excellent idea, particularly in the current circumstances. So thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, Graham.
Thanks, Graham.